In 2023, Emmy, a beautiful and charismatic woman, frequented the pool every day. One day she met Melanie and they decided to become friends. They soon discovered that they were studying at the same university and decided to take physics and yoga classes together. Melanie, who was dating a football player, was very into fitness. They lived in Montreal City. One day, Melanie's boyfriend, David, introduced Hugo, his teammate, to Emmy. Hugo was Emmy's type, so they decided to go on vacation together in Greece. They attended a friend's wedding near an old house, which the married couple mentioned was for sale. Curious, they entered the old residence for a visit. As Emmy and Melanie explored the house, they felt a strange sensation, like a butterfly effect. They sat in the living room with Hugo and James for a chat when they heard a loud noise coming from the attic. To their surprise, an old jukebox machine started playing a song from the 1930s. Emmy and James screamed in fright. Melanie, being braver, decided to investigate the attic to see if something was there. The four of them went to check it out. Suddenly, they heard a loud crack as if someone had broken a branch coming from the third floor. Emmy felt uneasy, as if she could sense a ghostly presence. Hugo's eyes turned black, and his voice changed to a loud and grave tone. Everyone started running back to the hotel, except for Hugo, who stayed behind and fainted in front of an old mirror in the attic. The next morning, Melanie and Emmy returned to the old house to search for Hugo. They followed a strange trail that led them to the attic, where they found Hugo unconscious. Emmy called an ambulance while Melanie stayed with Hugo. They also discovered a book with pictures and letters, which Emmy took back to the hotel. Melanie and Hugo went to the hospital thinking it was all just a joke. Hugo returned the next day and they all went back home to Montreal. Upon emptying her bag, Emmy opened the book and strange things started happening. The electricity began to malfunction, causing Emmy to close the book anxiously. She invited Melanie to discuss any news about Hugo and learned that he had been locked in a mental hospital because he seemed disconnected from reality. Melanie sat next to Emmy at the table and they opened the first letter. The letters revealed the story of a family who had lived in the house in the 1930s, including a duchess and a countess who cared for sick children. They also discovered letters detailing a forbidden love affair between the two women and their fear of a gardener. Eventually, they learned that the women were murdered by the gardener and the house was haunted. It was a truly terrifying story that they would never forget.